Hello everyone and welcome to Nervous Nessie. Today I wanted to share with you some ideas on how you can save money for traveling by going to your local dollar store. Now, some of these tips you're gonna think, okay, you're crazy. Some of them you might actually use, but I'm hoping that these tips will get you to the point to where you're thinking outside the box and using your local dollar store to help you save money when it comes to traveling. So let's get into some of these ideas. The dollar store can be used to buy things like cheap sunglasses. Now, I have a pair of sunglasses that I paid a good amount of money for, and I wear them almost every single day, but I try not to carry them whenever I'm traveling because I don't want them to get stolen or lose them. So I just run to the local dollar store and buy some cheap sunglasses. That way, I don't have to worry about if they go missing. Now, obviously, they're not going to be the very best. They may not look the greatest, but if they have a good UV protection for your eyes, they're serving the purpose. But it is a great way to save money whenever it comes to traveling by just buying some cheap sunglasses. Another thing that you can buy really cheap at the dollar store to help save money is snacks. Now, it saves money, number one, bringing snacks from home versus buying food when you're out and about traveling. But to save even more money, you can actually buy some snacks from your local dollar store. A lot of times those snacks can come individually packaged, which is really great for whenever you have kids. Each child can get their own snack. But even if they don't, it's nice to have $1 for a bag of snacks versus $3 or $4 getting them at your local grocery store. These next couple of items you may already have at home and not even have to buy at the dollar store. But if you don't, or let's say you're running low, you can go to your local dollar store and save a little bit of money. The first item is Ziploc bags. Now, Ziploc bags can come in really handy whenever it comes to travel. You can put a wet bathing suit in there. You can use the gallon size bags to put your tennis shoes in. Now, your shoe may not fully fit in there, but if you can get the bottom of your tennis shoe into the bag, or you can kind of cut the edge, let's say you cut one edge of the bag, then you could at least get your shoe in there and maybe fold the top over, but the bottom dirty part of your shoe is being protected from everything else in your luggage. I always try to carry a few extra little bags with me because, I don't know, they just always come in handy, and I would rather have them and not use them than need them and not have them. But buying them at a dollar store is a great way to save money. Next item you might already have at home could be straws. Now, I have a big thing of straws because a lot of places in California do not allow straws. So I am particular and I have my own straws. Are they great for the environment? No, they are not. But I'm just particular like that. Yes, I know. I'm detrimental to the environment, but I try to save for the environment in other ways. I guess it balances. But getting some cheap straws from the dollar store can come handy for two different reasons. Number one, if you're going to a location that does not have straws. Number two, you can use the straw and run a necklace through here. You just unclasp your necklace, run the chain through, and then reclasp it, and it'll help keep the chain from getting tangled up with all of the rest of your jewelry. Another way to use the dollar store to save money for traveling is to buy all of your travel size toiletry items at the dollar store. Now, they may not have the big name brand items that you're used to, but basic things like toothpaste, maybe you need a contact lens case because the one you have is the only one you have, so you want to leave it at home and you want to get a travel one. Maybe hair ties or barrettes that you don't really care if you lose or not. Get those items at the dollar store, and that way you're saving money. Most of the time at the dollar store, it literally only costs $1 or maybe like $1.25. But if you go to more bigger chain places, Target, and you want to buy travel items, they're not $1. If you get them for $1, you're lucky, because most of the time the travel sized items are $3, $4, $5 for a thing of travel size shampoo, which is crazy. Now, of course, you could buy one and then refill it with your shampoo or whatever you use from home. That's usually what I do. I just have the container and just refill it from home. But if you don't want to do that, you can save money by buying your supplies at the dollar store. Some more supplies that you can buy could be a loofah. Maybe you use a loofah at home and you want to use one when you travel, but you don't want to put the wet one from your shower in your suitcase. Get a cheap loofah at the dollar store whenever you travel, and at the end of your trip, you could just throw it away. Yes, it is a little bit wasteful, so if you don't want to completely throw it away, get out the Ziploc bag and throw it in there. The dollar store also has supplies for travel like eye masks, and they also sometimes will have travel containers. So if you don't want to buy the individual little things of shampoo and conditioner and body wash, they will have the little travel size empty containers that you can fill up. Now, are they leak proof? Probably not, but then most of the time, all of the travel containers are not leak proof anyways. Even the expensive ones that say they're leak proof are not always leak proof. And that brings me to the next item that you might want to pick up at the dollar store. And you may think I'm a little crazy saying this, but it can work. And that is balloons. If you have the little travel size containers and you're worried about them spilling in your luggage, then buy some balloons. You could take the balloon and wiggle it down over the top of your container. That way, should it leak, it leaks inside the balloon. And you want to try to get it down far to where it's, not going to really fill up with a lot. You want to really get it down as far as you can. Another way you can use the balloon is take the lid off of your container, put the balloon over, and then put the lid back on. And it's going to thread over the balloon. This will help create a barrier. And if you're really worried about it, after doing that, put another balloon on the outside to make sure that it's not going to leak. Another cheap thing that you could get at the dollar store that you may not really think much about is dryer sheets. Now, not everyone uses dryer sheets whenever they dry their clothes, but if you don't have dryer sheets, you can get a little small travel size, usually it's about 10, 15, 20 sheets in a box, and use that whenever you travel. What can you use it for? Number one, put a few sheets in your luggage and it'll help keep your luggage smelling fresh, especially towards the end of your trip when all of your clothes are starting to smell a little funky. Another way you can use the dryer sheets is to put one dryer sheet in each one of your tennis shoes. This will help absorb moisture and help keep your shoes smelling fresh from day to day while you're traveling. And also, using a dryer sheet can help tame flyaway frizzy hair if you're traveling to an area that has a lot of humidity. Now, of course, you could buy these items online, but a cheap way to do it is get it at the dollar store. And that is a protective cover for your curling irons and your straightening irons. So ladies, if you have a curling iron or a straightening iron and you've ever traveled before, you know how frustrating it is when The last day of the trip, you get up, you get ready, and then you need to pack your stuff and run out of the hotel at the last minute. But you're standing there with a hot straightening iron or curling iron or both, depending on your hair. Get an oven mitt at the dollar store. You're paying $1, $1.25 for a cheap oven mitt that you could put in your luggage, and you can put the hot end of your curling or straightening iron in there and then throw it into your luggage and go. If you want to save money and not purchase luggage locks, which can be pricey depending on the locks, then you can get zip ties from the dollar store. You simply zip your luggage closed, run a zip tie through, get it as tight as possible, and there's your makeshift lock. Now, of course, TSA can get into it and anyone else can get into it. Realistically, if somebody really wants to get into your bag, it doesn't matter if you have an expensive lock or zip ties, they're gonna get into your bag. Having several of them, maybe you buy a pack of them from the dollar store, throw it into your luggage, then you can use them whenever you're coming back for your trip and put a brand new zip tie on to return home. Now, this last tip, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I promise you it works. And that is to purchase panty liners at the dollar store. Now, these are meant for women whenever it is that time of the month, but men, you can purchase them as well. Now, you're thinking, why, as a man, would I purchase panty liners? The reason why is because of what they are meant for. They are meant to absorb moisture. Any kind of moisture. Granted, they're marketed for a particular thing, but they are meant to absorb moisture. So, let's say you're going on a trip to a hot area, you're gonna be wearing a ball cap and it's gonna be sweaty. You could line the inside of your ball cap with those panty liners. They stick. So you could stick a liner inside your ball cap and it'll absorb the moisture on your head. Don't want to do that? Put them in your shoes. You could put them in your shoes and it'll absorb any type of moisture that gets outside of your socks. Another thing you could do is, let's say you have shoes and as you're going about during your day walking, they're starting to rub. You could actually put one of the liners inside your shoe, maybe it's your heel, and you run one around the inside of the heel and it'll help protect from getting blisters. Think outside the box. That is why I wanted to throw this tip in there. When you go to your local dollar store, think outside the box of, yes, this is meant for one thing, but I could use it on my trip for something completely different. I hope you've enjoyed these tips, and I hope that it gets you to where you are thinking outside the box for travel items from the dollar store. In the end, it'll save you a lot of money versus buying things in other stores. If you have used any of these tips, or if maybe you have your own dollar store tips, I would love to hear those. Please leave a comment below. I will try to get to those as soon as I can. And if you have any questions about these tips, you can also leave those below. And if you want to know when the next video comes out, then subscribe. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Bye!